It's not worth it, bitch. I'll go twirl on TikTok for a few $1,000s before I ever have a motherfucker talk to me like I'm the bottom of the barrel piece of shit. And so that's what I did. I packed my bags. The Asians they were going crazy. Oh my God, please, we're so sorry to offend him. I've been modeling professionally full-time for the last almost a decade. And the craziest thing is people's perceptions versus the reality. Obviously, modeling can be very glamorous and you get to go to the fire events and put on nice outfits and get, you know, special treatment and all that. But it's not always that. From the outside looking in, even before I got started, I just like saw people on catwalks and I was obsessed with America's Next Top Model. And I was like, I want to do this. And then when I got into the industry, I quickly realized that everything that's glitter isn't gold. Nonetheless, the experience of being a model is amazing. I love it and it's fun and I'm living out one of my dreams. I love it all. But today I want to tell you guys a traumatizing story about the time that I went on stay in Milan. There's something in modeling called going on stay. It's when a model goes to a different market. So there's different markets. There's the London market, the Paris market, the Milan market, the South Africa market, the Germany market, New York, and LA. Those are like the top 7 markets and all of them have little different things. LA is known for being more commercial, like the stuff you guys see me doing on my Instagram a lot, Nike, Adidas, like that type of stuff. Paris and Milan may be a little bit more high fashion and editorial, Versace, Prada, Givenchy. Depending on your look, you might excel in a different market, right? But you don't really know until you get there and try it out. But there's so many things that go along with go into these markets and trying it out that you just don't know. But Milan took the cake. Milan was absolutely diabolical. My name is Kweisi. If you've seen my face before, I've never seen my face before, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on that post notification bell for more videos like these. Let me give you guys the rundown. There is something called a mother agent. They are kind of like your manager. They're your mother. They're in charge of raising you and trying to build your career for the longevity. And then there's just regular agencies. Your mother agent will get you signed to an agency. When I reached out to my MA, I was like, hello, what do you think now that I have so many clients in London? Do you think it's time for me to try to start branching out into the European market? We decided yes. So to do that, they set up meetings for you all throughout and you go for like a week or two, you meet with all these agents, you run around and then you fly back and you usually get a contract or you don't get a contract. I really wanted, especially because my dance background and at the time with my look, I really wanted to try to see if I could hit that super high fashion market on the runways and stuff like that. So my mother agent reached out to a bunch of agencies and luckily enough, I didn't have to go there for meetings. Agencies just started offering me your contracts right off the bat. The beginning of the season, the fashion week season is in January. It starts with men's week. So we had a plan to go out to Milan. January in Milan is freezing cold. All the models from around the world come in at once. Was it January or was it February? It was the beginning of the year, like the first couple months of the year. All the models come in from all over the world and they go to all these castings, right? When I get to Milan, the first thing that I have to do is go to my agency. So I go to my agency and it's cute or whatever. There's lots of boys, there's a lot going on. We're scheduling when I'm gonna come in for new headshots, digitals. They've given me all of my information to go check into where I'm gonna be staying for the first couple weeks. Mind you, there's no shows happening yet. This is when we're still just doing auditions and castings. I check in with them, they give me my hotel, I go to a hotel. So first of all, me pulling up, I'm like, this is fab, this is beautiful, like this is cute. We go to the hotel and I know that I'm gonna be here for like a week. This was like the first place they're putting us while we're going through casting. The models that like got good feedback that the agency believed would excel, they would then move on to being in an actual model apartment. And that's the part where shit gets crazy. I've heard about model apartments my whole entire life and how crazy they are, but living in them and hearing about them are two different things. When you're going into these markets, please know also, you're not going in there with the goal to make a lot of money. Because you see these people on these catwalks and you thinking they're getting paid down boots. They're not. There's like 1 or 2 models on that runway that are getting paid, okay? The check is clearing heavy, 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 heavy. And then all the other models are getting paid nickels and dimes. And the agencies in Europe take like half of your money off the bat and you have to pay double taxes. So say you're going to walk and they give you $1,000, you may be walking out profit to $300 because also you're paying to stay. When you pay in the model house, you're paying for your bed, like $200 a week or like $250 a week. So you're working your ass off just to get out of the red. Being a model is also tea because you're around the most beautiful people in the world. My roommate in the hotel was so fine. I forget where he was from, but I had 3 roommates. I think it was a 2-bedroom like suite hotel, pretty cute. And I think I had 2 or 3 roommates. But it's crazy because we're out there going to castings, and based on our look, sometimes we're getting the same castings, different castings. All of my roommates, that was their first time being on stay in Milan, literally like America's Next Top Model. But mind you, don't forget, first we are in the hotel because there's so many models, they don't have enough beds in the model apartments to put them in the model apartment, especially for fashion week. I didn't get any shows. I didn't walk any shows. I almost got Dolce & Gabbana. I was on hold for Dolce & Gabbana. The day before the show, they pulled me. They cut me. It happens. I don't care. If y'all don't book me, bitch, you're lost. Somebody will. I didn't get any shows, but there was a lot of great feedback. So my agency decided to keep me there. So they moved me from the model apartment, the model hotel to the model apartments. And this is where shit gets interesting. I went to a casting while I was in Milan, and this goes to show you, this was a big moment in Milan that I was like, wow, this industry is weird. Because I went to a casting in Milan. It was for Gucci. Every boy, you see the top boys, you see all the boys that like be on the runways that you see on Instagram and stuff, you see all of them, right? There's a pizza shop right next door and all the models are there smoking cigarettes. Fab, it's so fab. Everyone's beautiful, everyone has outfits on. It's just crazy. And I'm seeing boys that, like I said, I see on all the runways in fashion right now. There's a huge influx of Black models, especially dark skin, beautifully like deeply melanated, gorgeous, stunning Black model. But it's also interesting if you think about it, because a lot of these models, they scout from sometimes refugee camps in like Sudan and stuff like that, or model scouts or junior scouts go to these festivals and scout these boys from these many times impoverished countries, and they fly them over, put them in a model apartment, not in the best conditions, and have them walk all these runways, and most of the times they don't get paid that much. I go into the pizza, I'm chilling with some of the homies, and I noticed that one of the boys really wanted to eat, but he wasn't eating. And mind you, this is a top boy. I've seen this boy on many runways, but a lot of these models are broke. That is one reality about modeling that is unfortunate and sad, especially the runway boys. A lot of them end up being broke because unless you get a really big campaign and you get a $20,000-$30,000 campaign, those model fees add up. The agency's taking 40-50%, you're paying taxes, you're sending home back to wherever you're from money like for your family, and you're barely breaking even. I bought a whole pizza for everyone. I didn't single him out, but I bought a bigger pizza and was like, yo, you can have some, because I could tell that he wanted to eat and maybe he couldn't afford it. I didn't book any shows, but what I did book was a e-com. E-com is when you're like shooting for the website. I booked it for Heron Preston. Heron Preston is a big designer. So I booked him, and then after I booked the e-com shoot, I booked the showroom. So I did like 4 or 5 days of e-com. And when I tell you their e-com is hard, you're shooting 100 looks, they're smoking cigarettes every 5 seconds. You don't leave until you're done. Sometimes I was getting out of there at 7, 8 p.m. I'm the only model on my set. So sometimes you could like shoot 5 looks and then go sit down, be on your phone, hang out, go get a snack, And then the next model goes and shoots. And then you do that. There was none of that. There was no snacks. There was nothing. It was absolutely nothing. There's no driver. There was just nothing. But I don't care. Like I like experiences. So it wasn't the most glamorous experience, but it was experience that I could tell this. Like I could tell my children one day, like, yeah, your dad was modeling in Milan. Sure it was. The team liked me so much that they wanted me to do showroom. Showroom is when you're wearing the latest collection that might come out in a year from now, but all these buyers from Neiman Marcus, Nordstrom, etc., these big department stores come in, and their job is to see it on the model, and they may order like 4,000 jackets, 5,000 pants, stock up the inventory for Barney's, Neiman Marcus. Here's when shit started to hit the fan, and I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. It's time for me to wrap this up and go. I asked them if I can come and like show them my hair out. At the time, I had this coppery brown hair. If you want to, I also made a model house tour video. If you want to see that, I'll link it down below. I had this hair that you could see in that video too, and it was big, and I was like, I want to wear my afro out for digitals because I came in braids, so clients and brands can see the other option of my hair. And my agents are like, yeah, please do it. Like, come in. We would love to see it, blah, blah, blah. I come in for digitals. I go upstairs and he's like, oh my God, what is it? What is it? Talking about my hair. And I was just, I even had to defend one model because he was, my agent was talking to him crazy. Mind you, this boy was a model from Africa. He didn't speak very good English, and he wasn't understanding what my agent was saying because he doesn't speak Italian or English. They were rude as shit. And I don't give a fuck about working for nobody if you're gonna be rude. I don't give a damn. I will leave. Because I respect myself, my peace, my sanity more than a job. You got me fucked up, but I understand how some people need it. And mind you, I forgot to mention, yes, the hair thing was crazy, but what was even crazier is if you watch that model tour video, when I went from the hotel to the model house, I had a shoot day. That was my first day shooting ecom at Heron Preston. So I had to bring all of my luggage to the shoot, and then that day I was going to the model house for my first time. There was like 5 or 6 boys living in there when I first moved in. And I go to like take a shower, and the shower builds up to my knees. Like the water isn't draining. So I send an email to my mother agent telling them like, yo, tell Milan they need to send somebody in to fix our shower. This is disgusting. I just shot a fucking 15-hour day, and I'm coming home to take a shower, and I can't even take a clean shower. There's a rim around the shower of dirt because the water's not draining. This is disgusting. I was so disgusted. So like I said, it may look cute and dainty and glamorous from the outside. They got us on bunk beds. There's 1, 2, you gotta go watch the tour if you haven't seen it. Like I said, it's the first link in my bio. 6 boys in 1 bedroom, 8 boys in 1 bedroom. So there's like 2-bedroom apartment, 1 bathroom, 12 boys. And I was like, oh my God, bitch, take me back to the hotel, please. Shout out to Michael. Thank God I had one friend from LA that was in the house with me, and we just made the best of it. We had such a good time. I also met another amazing model named Obama. He was my Brazilian roommate. We had so much fun. Like I cooked for them all on the last night. There was another model there he was from Asia. He didn't talk to us at all. We had this thing that every night after whoever got home first, me or Michael, we would make Aperol Spritz, and we would get the shit for Aperol Spritz, and we would get Aperol Spritz tipsy. Only way we could make it through that experience was be tipsy. I feel like I was the problem child of the agency because I'm just calling out simple things like, yo, a plumber needs to come fix the thing. And the owner of the agency was like, oh my God, we're so sorry, da da da. But it's just like, that's disgusting. And then, like I said, fast forward a week or so, a few days later, I come into the agency and they say the thing about my hair, but I had to keep it cool, right? Because I'm like, all right, that's strike 2. The shower was strike 1 and the dirtiness, to the point that I was taking bird baths. I was taking whole baths in the sink, washing my shit in the morning before work. But I'm like, James, just come on. The reason I was there, the goal was to get something called a tear sheet. All I was trying to do is get an editorial. The reason we go is because if I come back with a Prada or Givenchy editorial in a magazine or something, when I come back to the States, my price is up. I just was in the Givenchy ad, so my price is up. Okay, I'm doubling my price. This was the 3rd thing that I called my agents in the US and I said, bitch, I'm going home. They got me fucked up that it's time for me to go. I don't care to be a high fashion model that bad. Bitch, I'm just gonna go back to LA, work on my craft, work on my singing, acting, and dancing. Another time, I go to meet with my agent, and my agent calls me over to his desk. And mind you, when you go up the stairs in my agency, it's like a long table. You go up these stairs, it's a long table, and it's like all the men's agents, all the women's agents, and then like a couple other people, maybe like the social media team, a couple interns, whatever. There's like 10 people. My agent is like, oh, come here, James, let me go over your schedule. I just finished the photo shoot, and he was calling me in to go over how the showroom was going to be. And when I went in, he was like, yo, how was the shoot? Like, how was it? I was like, it was okay, but like, I feel like they overworked me for sure. Cause they had me shooting so fucking much. I shot so much with little to no break, no food, or the food will come at 7 and I'm leaving at 7:15, but I got there at 7 in the morning. So it's just like, bitch, what? And I'm not used to that. We are spoiled here in America. You get your break, you get your hour break, you get another break, like we're spoiled. So I'm just like, oh no, for $200 for the day that turns to $50 after all the fees, you got me fucked up. This wasn't the comment that got me. But he goes, you're a good boy, you could do it. No, I'm American, and I know there's cultural differences, but for you to call me a good boy, just scratched at the back of my neck. I was like, oh my God. I said, yeah, I know I'm able to do it and I'm capable of doing it, but I'm not shooting that much. I'm not shooting that much. So he reached out to the client and was like, hey, can we lower his rack? Da da da. So they did. The next day I came to work, my rack was like cut in half. I shoot fast. So when clients realize that I can get the photo quick, they tend to hound me with more work because then they get more done for less money. Now he's like, let me show you about your schedule for the showroom. And I'm like, okay. He's like, come over here. So I'm standing over his shoulder, leaning over, looking at the calendar, and I see mad days, like booked for like I said, like 18 days. And then he goes, bend down or like get on your knees. I know it's not your first time. I said, what did you just say to me? He's like, oh, you Americans, you take everything so serious. It's a joke. I said, no. And awkwardly, I crouched down. But I knew this was my last day coming into this office because you got me fucked up. I just don't do well being talked to crazy. Because at the end of the day, I contracted you out to do a job for me. I'm a grown ass man. And I am not that desperate to have motherfuckers talking to me crazy. I don't give a damn who you are. I will never disrespect myself for an opportunity. I just won't. I don't care that much. I'm like, bitch, oh, I'm not built for this. I'm not built for this. It's time for me to go. Bitch, I should have did that in the beginning of my career because after experiencing what I experienced in LA and New York and then going, bitch, no. I emailed my agent. I said, I will be leaving. I booked a flight that night. They said, James, you have like 12 more days left of work. I said, that's fine. They can find somebody else to do it. I'm not doing that. They said, please stick it out. Like, come on, we're trying to get like an editor. I said, it's not worth my sanity or sacrificing the respect I have for myself for people to talk to me crazy and diabolical for a tear in a magazine, an editorial shoot. It's not worth it, bitch. I'll go twirl on TikTok for a few $1,000s before I ever have a motherfucker talk to me like I'm the bottom of the barrel piece of shit. And so that's what I did. I packed my bags. The Asians were going crazy. Oh my God, please, we're so sorry to offend him. Da 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 da. We love him. The clients here love him. We see big future for him. And we just think that it's a misunderstanding. My agent said, this is what they said. Please see below and reconsider your decision. I said, flight is booked. Copy and paste. Here's the thing. Came back to LA. And that was the last time I've ever been to Milan. And I will go again. But like I said, bitch, the next time you see me in Milan modeling, just know that I was invited, flew out, paid Bitcoin to be there. Okay? Or the opportunity was so worth it for the trajectory of my career that I made it happen. But I will never do. I'm too old for that. There you guys go. That is my experience modeling in Milan. And even though it was absolutely diabolical and ghetto and treacherous, the experience was still an experience. And that's the beautiful thing about like life. I still learned so much through the experience. I didn't fold on my boundaries despite like the opportunities that were in front of me. If you guys want more stories about my experience modeling around the world, let me know in the comment box down below. Like I said, if you want to see that model tour so you can see the conditions in which we're living, the link is also down below. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at James Kweisi and hit that subscribe button and turn on my post notifications for more videos. Y'all already know I will see you guys next Friday for another video, and next week is gonna be good. Let me just say, I have baby fever bad. Oh, the baby fever is so bad. Bye.